tonight we have the winner of the American Photography Photo Competition, Mauro Di Bettio, and we're thrilled to have him. And he's actually in Nairobi as we speak. So it's the middle of the night there, and I cannot tell you how thankful we are that you would come and do this. And I know that competition is a fierce competition, and to win it as the overall winner, that is not something that happens too frequently. So congratulations to you, and I know you'll highlight the winning images that got you the top prize. But first, I'll turn it over to you and share with us your journey. All yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You're really kind. Yes, I just came back from the north of Kenya, from Lake Turkana. I just ended a workshop, like a couple of times a year. I organize workshops around the world. So I bring photographers to certain areas of the planet, and I show them around. I teach photography, and I teach how to do a portrait, and basically I teach people to do what I do, what I'm able to do. And yeah, I just came back 3 days ago, and right now I'm in Nairobi. It's 2 a.m. now in the morning. So I probably look really tired. But yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm really happy to be here. And of course, as a overall winner of the American photography, I couldn't miss this. So thank you. Thank you for this.
All right, so you could start sharing your screen and
Yeah, okay. Okay. So I probably can start with the winning image of the American Photography 2022. The title of the image is Gentleman of Kibera. Kibera is the biggest slum of Africa that is close to where I am right now. I've been working in that slum since 4 years already. I've been doing a lot of projects, many projects, and it's kind of my home. And I know a lot of people, and a lot of these people are almost my family now. So I'm really attached to this place and to these people. So of course I'm super happy I was able to win the competition with this image. That is very important for me. I would like to tonight I would like to do a short introduction to explain who I am, and also how I got to do what I do right now. I would like to talk about me, yes, and show some of my most, let's say, significant images and projects. In the meantime, when I'm talking, I will show you some of the images, okay? I began to discover and photograph the world about 10 years ago. That's why the title of this presentation, and by the way, also the title of my new book, is 40 Seasons of Humanity. I wanted to also to say that, as I was explaining before, that all the images you're going to see now are taken in places where I also organize tours and workshops. So at the end, if someone maybe is interested, can contact me and I can give information about my tours. As I was saying, everything started 10 years ago. This means I started quite late to do what I'm doing. Late, and plus it took quite long to understand for me, to understand what I wanted to communicate with this tool, with the camera. It was a really long journey. in which I, let's say, experiment different form of photography. Living in the north of Italy, in the Dolomites, I started photographing wildlife. Then I did some landscape, a bit of macro, and only at the end I approached portrait photography, which is what I've been doing for the past 10 years. People were the ones who scared me the most. I being always a shy person. That's why, let's say, I started from really far, and slowly, step by step, I approach the people. Documentary photography then is without no doubt the top I have reached after this long journey. Is a kind of photography that represents my way of speaking, and a kind of photography that allowed me to live as I always wanted to live. My work is divided in two. The first, the most important, as I was saying, is certainly the documenting realities and situation of people often defined in the margin, to the margins of society. Minorities that are, let's say, easy to ignore, or which simply maybe we don't know the existence. Minorities made by millions of people. The second part of the work I do, more than a task, is like a duty, is more as like a personal passion. That is a passion. This passion is basically traveling to distant, remote lands to discover and photograph tribes. This is my biggest passion.
Mario,
Tribes also, yes, tell me.
you know, listening to you, when did it happen to you that this became your life, where you recognized everything else? Because you said it's only 10 years old, your journey.
Yeah, the
What,
journey
what,
started
what,
10
was there
years
a
ago.
moment for you? Was there a significant moment that said, this is it?
Yeah, it happened 5 years ago, no more than 5 years ago. In that moment, I really realized, okay, I'm good in what I'm doing. It was difficult to realize, but I finally realized that I was good in what I was doing, and I said, okay, this is my path. This is what I have to do. And even though there are many difficulties always, every day, this is what I love to do. And yeah, to answer your question, 5 years ago.
Okay.
So quite late. Yeah. And yeah, 5 years ago is also the time I decided to spend my time bringing the voice of the people I was meeting in my path. I really love photography, so through my work, I really try my best to bring the voice of these people to the world. But later I will show you, yeah, some of my most important work. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was saying the second part of the work I do is to discover tribes and also ancient tradition. Is also something I like to do. Tribes and tradition that unfortunately are disappearing. I'm doing this since a few years, and year by year, I can see that things are changing, and yeah, is very sad.
When you see something changing, How do
Yeah.
you recognize that it's changing? What are the factors that bring in this change that may or may not disappoint you?
That change in a bad way can be like a tour agency, the massive tourism in a place that is a really bad way for the locals. I don't know. For example, the kind of tour I do is involve maximum 5, 6 people, and um, the most important thing I teach to my clients is to the respect, basically the respect for the communities we visit. And there is also an important part of what I do that is the humanitarian part. So when we visit the community, we always bring clothes, we always bring food, and the camera, me and my clients, we take out the camera. Is the last thing that come out from the backpack. So I really want to teach the people who travel with me that is very important to, to just say hi, get to know the people, introduce ourselves, and but unfortunately not everybody use this form. Unfortunately, most of the agency, they organize tours with 20 people, and also there are tours that they don't bring anything, they don't give anything to the communities. There are people who travel with their own car, with a tent, with their own kitchen, and unfortunately this is not a good way. And what do they give in exchange? They give money. So these tribes, they soon learn that is a good way to make money. So maybe they leave the cattle, they leave the camels, they leave the agriculture, um, because yeah, they have this easy money coming in, no?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if someone of you have been to Omo Valley, but sadly, this is what happened in Omo Valley in Ethiopia. I mean, people, they don't even know another way to make money anymore. So suppose in 5 years people are not going to visit Ethiopia anymore, these people are going to die. And yeah, I don't think these are. I'm convinced this is a really bad way to do tourism. So yeah, to answer to your question, yeah, I see when I visit places, I see this changing because of this. And yeah, can I go on?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Um, yeah, as I was saying, most of what I learned, talking about photography, I didn't learn it from books. I didn't learn it from schools of photography or school of photojournalism. No, I learn everything, and I'm still learning. That probably is the best part of what I'm doing, learning all the time from the people, from the environments. Um, that, as I was saying before, every time I'm so lucky to get to know in my trips. Um, from each one of them, of these people I met on my journey, I, let's say, absorb something. I absorb
Mm.
happiness, passion, ideas, smiles, and yes, unfortunately, also often anger, sadness, and also shame. Emotion that they are all emotion that fortunately most of the time they are, let's say, positive experiences that make you happy, but there's sometimes they are tough, they are sad, and they are like a punch in your stomach. Uh, what I try to do through my, let's say, creative language then is exactly this. I want to bring all this emotion. I want to try to, let's say, paint this emotion in an image. What I do is not just leaving home, go somewhere, snap, taking picture, go home and publish the image. No, I always try to create something that has a meaning. And of course, I love photography. I love the technique. I love the light, the study of the light. All these things are, of course, important for the perfect result of an image. I would lie if I say I don't care about these things. I always look in and studying the light, trying to like improve my style. But what I care the most is for all of you, for the observer, to stop and look, and especially to listen to the image. To the image and listen to the voice of all these people. People that often they don't have a voice, unfortunately. Okay, before starting with the project, I would like to show you a small video. It's a kind of behind the scene of some of my most important and crazy shots I took in my career, shots, the most difficult shot to realize, let's say. I'm going to show this small video and after I start with the project, okay?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
perfect.
Raise your hand.
Yeah, here we are.
Wow. I
Yeah.
I mean, there's a number of wonderful things about that footage. It, what really terrific is seeing how you come upon these shots in a context. Because sometimes we see we're always seeing beautiful images, but you always want to see behind the curtain, like how did he do that?
Yeah.
So Mario, just explain to me how 10 years ago, you don't know what you're really doing, right? And now you're on one of those trains, standing
Yeah.
up, going, I guess, 30 or 40 miles an hour. I
Yeah.
mean, like that's just, how does a person transform themselves into that space?
I think it's just curiosity. I mean, I'm just very curious, and again, I travel a lot, and I see a lot of situations that inspire me. So I'm also a bit crazy, probably, as my mother tell me all the time. And yeah, I get involved in this situation, and yeah, I really see the potential in a situation. I really understand the potential, and I really understand, okay, here I can get it something very, very unique, very, very powerful. So yeah, mostly I do because I enjoy what I do, but yeah, I also do because I'm sure I can get something good out of it.
Yeah, and are you using a drone as well?
Yeah, yeah. In the past 2 years, not anymore, because it became very quite impossible to go through a drone. But
To go through where?
I mean, to arrive in an airport nowadays, they yeah they see the drone. And but yeah, until a couple of years ago, yeah, I was traveling with a drone, with a GoPro, and with everything, because I really love to do the behind the scene of what I do.
Yeah.
I think is really important to. I mean, I still smiling when I see this video myself, And yeah, it's very important to me to understand what I was capable to do to get a picture. So it's good for me to understand that I'm really putting everything all myself to do what I'm doing, because sometimes I forget.
Yeah, all you have to do, all you have to do is watch that piece.
Yeah.
That's incredibly inspiring, really. Continue.
I have to share the screen again, right?
Yes. No, you should still be running it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So I will continue talking. For tonight, I selected like two. Let's see if I'm able to show three of my most important project. Project means is not only one single picture, but there is something that inspired me, something that I don't know.
Mauro, I hate to interrupt. We have a black screen.
Right now the screen is black, Mario.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna show the first picture.
Okay.
After this small speech, sorry.
Okay.
So yeah, a lot of time I meet people in need, people that ask me, please, we need help, we need your help. So in that case, I will spend a lot of time and I try to create a project. A project means like a dozen, 15 pictures with a story behind. So I also like to write and tell the story. Anyway,
Yeah, Mario, one question. How are you financing? How do you finance all of these trips?
most of the time I finance myself.
Okay.
Yeah. A few years ago, I had to take a decision if I wanted to work as a freelance or to work for an agency. So yeah, I was there in New York in 2018 for the American photography. And I also had a meeting for one of the, for a famous agency in New York. So when they explained to me how it was going to work, I said no. Again, as I was explaining before, I really love to spend a lot of time in the places, and with the agency, that kind of lifestyle is not possible. And also, most of the time, you don't talk or you don't photograph what you like, but as you can imagine, you need to talk about what they want. I mean, there's a war in Ukraine. In Ukraine, you have to fly to Ukraine, and I'm sorry, I don't. That's why I decided to continue to be a freelance. And yeah, I support myself with my books, with my prints, with my workshop. Sometime I win a competition, sometime I get published. And this is how I pay for most of my project, my trip.
Okay, great.
Anyway, I would like to just one more small thing. Before I was saying about the lesson I learned through what I do, and the most important lesson I learned before I even start to do the project documentary photography is the respect. This because without an authentic relationship, it's difficult to obtain an image that is able to express emotion, as I was saying before. But of course, this sometimes is not easy. It's not easy to find the right way to communicate with people who are sometimes very distant from us. For example, like the acid attack victims. I have always loved faces and looks that tell stories. And back then, the faces of these, who I consider real heroes, are those who, without doubt, for me, had something to say. This was my very first photography project, was the first. I started to work of this project even before putting my foot in Bangladesh, 1 year before. A year that began with enthusiasm, but an enthusiasm that gradually went like down and down and down. Gradually, I felt that, let's say, I was not able to realize this huge task, that I was not enough prepared, and not having, let's say, the delicacy, you say, yeah, enough delicacy to tell this reality that through this invisible and silent weapon, the acid is capable of such horrible and devastating acts. Then the idea of photographing these people with a smile, that was my idea. I wanted to photograph them with a smile. Yeah, it became like a stupid idea, it became madness. But everything disappeared as soon as I finally met these people. I was in front of these people. This girl that you see here is called Sweetie. Is a woman that, as you can see, radiates happiness. And that name is perfect, is appropriate for her. Sweetie got married when she was 12. It was a child marriage organized by her family, who thought was doing the right choice, was taking the right choice for the daughter. But from that moment, the nightmare of Sweetie began. Her husband and the parents of the husband, they were always thirsty of money, and the husband would always beat her to get money from the family. But the real problem began when those money ended. And for over a year, she was beaten and raped from the husband and from the father of the husband, until the last warning when his family made the decision to throw the acid on her face during the night. Throwing acid in women is unfortunately a common thing in this society, where the women occupy a very low position compared to men. But Sweetie, let's say, she never lost that smile, never. She explained to me that the biggest pain was not even to realize that her future was over, but the most difficult thing for her was what the other people around her was thinking about her. And let's say, she told me also that her dream as a child was to become a dancer. And despite everything that happened to her, she never stopped believing in that dream. She participated in various competitions until that year when I was there, she won an award. That is this one.
And what country are we in?
Bangladesh, sorry, I forgot to mention we are in Bangladesh. And this trophy represents exactly what these people are. So courage, commitment, and passion. And they are the true symbol of this cruel destiny that slowly is changing. We change continents. During my first trip to Africa, that I did 8 years ago, that lasted 5 months from, as you can see from the map, from Cairo in the north to Cape Town in the south. One day I was walking in the city of Nairobi, where I am now, and I was walking around with the camera, and seeing me with the camera, a man stopped me on the street. This guy named Mike, who still teach dance to the children in the slum of Nairobi. he asked me, do you want to come tomorrow to the slum to teach photography to the children? And yeah, I couldn't say no. So the day after I was there. This is Kibera, is the slum, is a building where Mike, that you can see at the end with the red teacher, is teaching dance to the children, and me in the meantime I'm teaching photography to some children. It was, of course, an amazing experience, and that is an image that remained inside me for years. Years passed imagining those ballerinas, those moments, and it became such an obsession that I decided that I wanted to do a project of the ballerinas. From that moment, I started to search Mike, the guy that is teaching ballet. So I finally found him on Facebook. I asked him, I told him, look, I want to do the project and about the ballerinas. And he told me, what are you waiting for? Get in a plane and come here. And this is the project I made 2 years ago. The project is called Life in Balance. And the girl you see in the picture is called Faith. And behind her, there is Kibera, that is the most desperate area in Nairobi, in the biggest slum in Africa. All the slums of Nairobi host more or less 2.5 million of people. That is more than half of Nairobi population. Half of Nairobi population that occupy just the 5% of the surface of Nairobi. So due to this population growth, there is an increase of unemployment, poverty, crime, water scarcity, and infections. And because of this scenario, the children are the only one who can afford to dream. Mike, the guy who I met years before in Nairobi, who stopped me asking if I wanted to go there, he teaches dance in that school since 2009. He provides a safe space for children, giving them, let's say, an opportunity to realize their dreams. Children, they become dancer and at the same time discover their strengths. Let's say the ballet offer them a special path who have found in the dance, in the ballet, a life in balance. The ballet is much more than just learning, let's say, dance. It's something mental, emotional, and spiritual. It increased their self-esteem, and they basically teach these children to realize to become everything they want to be. In the same year, when I was there doing the project about the ballet, I had an idea. I remember that I was there because Mike asked me to teach photography. So in that year, I spread the voice and a lot of people helped me, and I was able to collect more than 100 used cameras. I brought the cameras there and I started a photography school. And the project is called Click and Smile. I want to show you a small video.
Amazing! This one goes to her. Camera.
Okay, a camera takes photos and a camera work together.
black people get. So can we maybe divide ourselves in groups?
Yeah, very, very talented children.
I have to say, Mario, it's like the camera can create magic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
you know,
Unbelievable. Yeah.
that I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
of course,
The
that one
children are
clip.
so creative. They just need a possibility. That's it. And yeah,
I mean,
it was nice to see that they were like imitating me when I was doing the project of the ballerina. So they were doing the same. Very, very nice.
yeah, I mean, that is the expression, lighting up like a Christmas tree. Those girls would, that is just phenomenal. That's really beautiful. You're really beautiful.
Thank you. Here we are in Nepal. I'm going a bit faster because I think we are running out of time.
No, you're fine, Mario. You're fine.
Yeah, with the one with the white suit is me, and I'm protecting myself by the bees. I would like to show you the whole project, but I just indicate to you for the people who want to see. I created like a movie, a behind the scene video of this project about the mad honey. Basically, in Nepal, once a year in spring, there is this tribe, these people, they go in the high mountain to collect this honey. They only in that precise week of the year release a honey that is like hallucinogenic. So it's called mad honey. I invite you to look the video in my YouTube channel, okay?
Yes.
When we have time. The title is Sweet Gold, the Honey Hunters of Nepal. I go quickly. Here we are.
Wait, Mario, don't go quickly.
Okay, sorry.
Go.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
you have us all, at the edge of our seats. So just go.
Yeah. So if I have a bit more time, I would love to speak about this as well. So often, like you also asked before, people ask me how I approach people and how I photograph them, how people allowed me to photograph them. I want to show you a project that probably can answer this question. Here we are back in Bangladesh, and this is something I saw in a previous trip, and it's a time where I decided I wanted to tell about the prostitute in the biggest brothel in Asia, that is just outside Dhaka. This is the largest and oldest brothel in Asia. When I left, of course, I already had taken in account that probably I would have come back without pictures. First of all, is a place really far from the capital, from Dhaka, and is a place difficult to reach. To enter, you need to be to be with someone, with a local, with a person that know the place. You need to give some money around to be able to enter. And when you're able to get inside, you need to try to be invisible. And of course, for me, it was not really easy to be invisible. The sex workers, this is the way they call them, the girls. come from really poor families, and they are objects without freedoms and without rights. The girls that you see on the back of this woman, they belong to the madam, the lady on the right, that is usually a prostitute too old to work. They belong to her. Basically, since they arrived there, she became their mom. She became their mom. She became their protector, and also the owner of their bodies. The pills you can see in the picture are called Oradexon. It is a steroid that girls use to increase their body shapes, let's say. The goal, of course, is to attract more customers. The girls, when they arrive there, they are very young. They are, without shapes. So they get these pills to grow, to become more sinuous, you say? Yeah.
Sexual, yeah.
They call these pills cow pills, and this because they are used by farmers, since the real use is to fatten the cattle. So this is the real use of these pills. They are girls who never been outside the place. They never left the brothel. They never crossed those walls. And of course, because of that, they are afraid. They are afraid of everything, especially of foreigners, and especially of foreigners with a camera. It was really, really difficult. But when I was there, I realized, of course, that for me, it was impossible to get pictures. So I decided to leave the camera in my backpack. And I decided, okay, I don't want to take picture of this. It's not gonna end good if I try to take pictures. So I decided instead to become their friend. So I decided to sit down, to drink a tea with them and listen. And from that moment, they start to speak, and they speak, and they speak, and they speak. And in that moment, it became like a mutual trust between us. They understand that I was not there for bad purpose, and nothing. I just decided to leave without pictures. A couple of weeks later, I came back. They recognized me. They host me. They invited me in their houses, and only because of that trust, I was able to bring home this picture and their story. This is the last project, and after I would like to talk about something very important for me. Here we are still in Bangladesh. We are in the slum, one of the biggest shipyards in Asia. There are 15,000 people working in the shipyard. And the age of the people working there go from 8 to 80 years old, and they all work together. The work is obviously hard, it's tough, it's dirty, it's dangerous, but it gives to all these people a salary and the possibility to give food to their families. One of the most, Tani, yeah.
Would it be safe to say that some of these young people will work their entire lives building a single ship? I mean, how long does it take to build those ships?
So it depends, though. So there are some ships that go there to die. So die means that people take apart and they like resell the material, like can be anything.
Yeah.
Or maybe a ship go there just to be repaired, or they build from new a new ship. So it depends. There are hundreds of ships there, so it depends. It depends on the clients. So, but yeah, the people start as to work there as a child until they basically die there. It's a really, really old, let's say, business.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to say that one of the most spectacular, I don't know, sorry for the word, is definitely the production of this giant bronze propeller that they do by hand. So basically people, they travel all around the city to collect pipes, sheets, cables, everything made of bronze. And they create this shape on the floor, on the sand, and they melt the bronze inside and they create these huge propellers. Is unbelievable, really unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Mario, are you traveling with a fixer to get access to these places?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
always. You need to go there with, even though I've been there many times, it's always better to go with a local than know the place, than know the people. Yeah. You know, most of the people around the world speak English, but in some places, like in Islam, not everybody understands the English. So it's always better to have someone that can translate for you as well. Yeah, as I was saying, I would like to end this journey by talking about the most important project I ever realized in my life. 3 years ago, I left for Uganda and Kenya for a project about illegal ivory trade, a project that for a number of various reasons ended badly. I spent even a few days in prison in Uganda. But anyway, because of all of these things that went wrong, I had to stay in Uganda, in Nairobi for a long time, and I was not even able to go out of the city. But because of that, I got to know, I got to discover a really tragic reality. There are over 60,000 children living on the street of Nairobi. They are all homeless without a family. These children, they don't have a house, they don't have a shelter, they don't have food, they don't have a roof, they have nothing. I had then the opportunity to share a lot of time with these children, with these people, and get every day closer and closer to them. And I soon realized that these souls, these angels, as I call them, they were in extreme need of help. And I decided then to give life, to give birth to what is now called Malaika Foundation. I was able to open a foundation here in Nairobi. Malaika, by the way, means angels. I was always called them angels, so that's why I decided to call the foundation Malaika Foundation. Right now, Malaika Foundation is able to give a weekly meal to over 200 children, to give them support, to give them medical support, psychology support. I mean, every time we distribute the meal, we stay with them, we play with them, we take a selfie with them, we make them understand that they are not alone, that they are wonderful, that they are beautiful, that they are important, and especially that they can have a future, that there is not everything lost. And 200 children a week, but of course we need to do much more than this. My dream is to open a clinic and to distribute food 3 times a week. So if someone is maybe interested about the foundation, can contact me and maybe I can explain how you can bring help to them. I just would like to say that it's not a non-profit foundation, and every penny you donate ends in the plate of the children. And also for this, I would like to show you a small video. Yeah, these are my angels.
I tell you, Mario, using beautiful imagery with your social conscious and your good heart is absolutely humbling. It's absolutely humbling. It's you sort of set the gold standard of putting money where your mouth is. It's really stunning work. And these videos that you put together are great. You really great. I hope you send me the links to these so that I could do a post with them tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just
And,
great. And everyone loving the work for sure.
thank you. Yeah, I am going to speak about one more thing.
Okay.
Tonight, as I said at the beginning, I just show a small part of my work, my story, my photos, my projects. This what I talk tonight, but much more is contained in this photography book, photography volume. They collect the testimonies of this long journey of 10 years. The book is called 40 Seasons of Humanity. I just wanted to tell a little anecdote. Last year, the photographer Steve McCary, whom I met in Barcelona, asked me a copy of the book, the first version, and I sent the book to him. And he loved it. He congratulated me, and he was so kind to write a little comment that I decided to add in the second edition of the book that just came out a couple of months ago. For me, of course, it was a huge, satisfaction. and nothing. I just would like to thank in advance those who are going to buy the book. And since for me, of course, it would be a great help, a great support to continue doing what I do. I will show you all my contact. This is my website. The second one is my Instagram account, and the last one is my contact. So if someone want to know more about the trip they organize, if there's someone want to know about Malaika Foundation, want to do a donation, if someone want to buy the book or want to buy a print, people can contact me here. Okay.
Yeah, we'll leave that up. We'll put those also in the chat room, so it'll be there as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you
Mario.
have any questions? I mean, I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean, Stefan, you had your hand up. I don't know if Stefan is still there or the question got answered. Towards the beginning of the
I was
book.
just clapping. I just.
Okay, sorry. The horns. Where were the people of the image, Mario, with the horns and the fur clothing? It was towards the beginning. No, that was
like
Ethiopia.
a tribe person, or
I don't know, Joyce. If you want to ask that question, now you.
Yeah, they seem to be in sort of gray skins of some sort with horns, and I've never seen a picture of those people ever before.
so is a tribe. This no.
No, I know who they are, but not the Samboros, but it was way in the beginning. In fact, maybe
I
they're.
go too quickly.
I'm sorry.
No problem.
No, and also for everyone who wants to let everyone else know, this will be up on our YouTube page by the end of the week, so they can go through there and visiting Mauro's website.
I can't believe you were lugging your camera equipment and lighting equipment up to like that remote monastery in Ethiopia. It was just incredible.
You know that.
This one.
Yeah, there you go.
This one.
Yes.
Okay. This is Sardinia. Very close.
Sardinia
Yeah.
in Italy?
Is the north of Sardinia. The place is called Scano di Montiferro. It's a really tiny village in the north of Sardinia. So in Carnival, there are like 20 different villages. In each village, there is like a local mask. So basically, like in a lot of tradition, they walk in the village to scare away the devil.
Mm.
This is what they do. So it's very scary. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a question from Pat
Okay.
Epstein.
Am I muted? Can you hear me?
No, we can hear you, Pat.
Yeah.
I had a question about there was a photo on your website, the guy with the hyena.
Okay. Yeah.
What
Nigeria.
was the story with that?
So I don't think I show it here. No, it's not in the presentation. So in the north of Nigeria, there are these people that they travel village by village. It's like a circus. So in Nigeria, they still believe in black magic. So these people, they travel village to village with snakes, baboons, and hyenas, and they perform a show. And with the show, they solve problems. For example, it believed that if is a child, for example, is peeing the bed. How do you say that?
Yeah, wetting the bed.
Wetting the bed, wetting the bed. Yeah. So it believed that if you put the baby on top of the hyena, the baby is gonna stop wetting the bed. So of course, it's black magic. Some people believe, some people don't. And of course, these people, they make money out of it because the family pay to perform this. But many other things. For example, with the saliva of the hyena, you can solve your debt problems, with your money problems. So it's a really, I love, I love and I live with these things. So that's why I was there last year in March to do a project about them.
Have they tamed those hyenas?
Sorry?
Have they tamed the hyenas? They're such vicious animals. I was just wondering if they actually had tamed them.
Yeah, it's
Great question.
obviously quite sad, but yeah, they like steal the baby hyenas from the mother, and they grow the hyenas, the small hyenas with them. So they train them, and of course they are still really wild animals. And yeah, it was
Is
crazy
a
because
book.
the hyenas are used to them, but they were not used to me. So they smell me kilometers away. So the hyena was quiet, but when she smelled me, she was super stressed, and it was not easy. By the way, in 1 month I will be in Nigeria again. I will bring some. I organize a tour there, a workshop, and that is one of the things we are going to see and photograph.
Joyce, you had another question?
No, there is a book called The Hyena Men, and I think it's out of print now, but it's a very interesting book about these troops of men that travel with the hyenas.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Peter Hugo. Jamie said, I guess Peter Hugo has that book.
Mm.
Yeah. Any other question? I mean, I think a lot of us are really just stunned. I mean, the work is really beautiful, and the work that you put in, with your heart and your actual efforts is commendable. I'm so thrilled that you were able to present with us, and I know it's now what, 3 o'clock in the morning for you?
Yeah.
That's yeah, we haven't had many people out of Nairobi. So everyone, there's so many different ways to contact him through his website, Instagram, on and on. Purchase his book, and anything you want to do to help his cause. And if you're courageous enough to take one of his workshops, that 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 would be great. We don't supply the
Everybody survived until now.
Oh, is that right? Okay. I'm not out, I don't, there's no medical coverage on soliciting, taking one of his workshops, but I'm sure you won't be the same person when you're done, one way or another.
Oh, definitely.
So yeah, and we thank you. And if anyone else has any questions, now is the time. You either put in the chat room, raise your hand, just start talking. But we really appreciate you doing this, and we can see why you won that competition. That's that's clearly it. Also, if anyone wants to see this presentation, it'll be up on our YouTube page. Like I say, by Thursday or Friday, and when you're there, please subscribe. But yeah, thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you.
Mauro, you be careful. Listen to your mother.
Yeah. I have to.
We started this with your mother telling you to be careful, and nobody else has a stronger sentiment to a boy's heart. But I leave you with to send us off, Mario. Any comment that you have?
Okay, perfect. Feel free to contact me in private as whenever you want. Okay.
Yes.
Will do.
For everybody.
So
thank you.
Thank you everyone for coming
again
tonight, and we thank Mario, and we will see you in a few weeks. Just keep on checking our website. You'll get the email blast on the next presentation. So thank you all.